Okay. All right. So we got SCP Memes #3 Rainer's Gaming. You guys already know how this go. Let's just go ahead and get straight into it. And let's not play the game, bro. Let's go ahead and see what it's talking about, bro. Let's see how funny or not funny this is gonna be. Let's go. Hold on, let me. Okay.
SCP-1983 kills 2 MTF task forces and kills many non-combatants. D-14134. You've suckered your last blood.
I don't get it. I'll be honest.
MTF Epsilon 9 Fire Eaters dispatched to deal with an SCP-600
Yo!
outbreak in redacted Russia.
Okay.
SCP-4999 offering a cigarette. Me. Literally no one cause him gonna die alone.
Wow.
When the nut is so long, it occupies 2 posts. Girls' pockets can barely fit their phone. Boys' pockets.
Potatoes? How is that an SCP meme? There's an SCP that's a bag of potatoes? Oh, wait, there's an SCP that's a bag of potatoes? You said there, why don't you go to, bro, I'm checking out a lot of SCP memes, bro, right now. This is what we doing, but okay, bro.
Car salesman slaps roof of SCP-939. This bad boy can fit so many voices in it. Me going on the SCP Foundation website for the first time trying to find out if the 5 security ads on my screen are just ads or part of the Foundation. Humanity dies. Dr. Bright using the body of SCP-076 to ally with SCP-682 to get to SCP-2000 and resetting the universe. We are done when I say we are done.
Yo, why is that intense? Why is that so intense? Bro, is this actually a story? Wait. Has this actually happened before? Has Dr. Bright used the body of 76 to get to 682? To get the SCP-2000? Has this ever happened before? Chat, has this ever happened before? It is? It has? You said I don't know, so why would you say yes? Wow.
Who would win? A plague doctor who kills anyone who he touches. 1 Jade Boy. Series 1. Bull that follows you. Series 3 and 4. When Scramble is on, but the weird white dude in the corner starts crying. Screams in tactical. There is no Easter Bunny. There is no Tooth Fairy. And there is no Foundation Canon. The SCP Community. Andrew Duskin. Claiming SCP. The SCP Community. MTF spawning. Literally every SCP spawn camping them. When right after I read 30-80, I turn on the news to hear about Category 5 Tropical Storm. MTF. SCP-682 just broke out at Gate B. Also MTF. I'm in danger. SCP sounds like demonic worship. God is literally an SCP. Weird Christian relatives. Me. 2 people in China are infected with the Black Plague. SCP-049.
I am a breach. Okay.
Andrew Duskin trademarking the SCP Foundation. The SCP mods. Andrew Duskin trying to shut down the Russian site. A lawsuit that is funded by the entire SCP fandom.
Yeah.
People who say Kata. People who say Keter. Dr. Kondraki destroying Site 19 while riding SCP-682. When you think it's just a cold, but an old guy appears out of thin air at your beside and offers you a cigarette. D-Class who got put into the FEMA breaker. One can I say except Bright.
You said it was a Russian dude? Nah, I know all about the SCP things. I told people go support that cause.
Think him some kind of fucking clown. This sub, maybe. Russian SCP branch. Andrew Duskin. The rest of the SCP community. Andrew Duskin again. The lawsuit. This is SCP-447-2. Yup, it improves most objects that are put in it. Yup, except dead bodies, where it does something bad. Makes sense to me. So don't test it on dead bodies. Test subject. 1 dead body. Nothing gets through this armor. Here were dragons. Andrew Duskin.
What?
Nothing gets through this armor.
Here were the dragons. Okay.
Andrew Duskin exists. The entirety of the
Smells
SCP
pestilence.
Community. I smell pestilence. When some kids report seeing some naked dude walking around, and then a few days later you hear footsteps in the attic. This evolved into a big fucking.
How is that a SCP?
When you get a row 5 card, but you get killed by the Tesla gate.
Imagine. Hell no. that was pretty good. That was actually a really good one. That was actually a really good one. I had a lot of funny ones in there. I'm not gonna lie. I had a bunch of really funny ones, bro. It was fire. It was fire.